My eyes feel heavy as they slowly open. The light from outside making me blink to let them get adjusted. My body feels like lead. My head feels just as heavy. Waking up to an unfamiliar ceiling is an uncomfortable feeling. It reminds me of the first time I woke into the dimpled white tile ceiling at the hospital. It's only after spending a few seconds staring up at it that I realize where I am. This is Hanako's dormitory room. It feels as though my heart stopped again. As the events last night rushed through my head, blood rushes to my cheeks and I shut my eyes once more. There's very little point to getting myself worked up this early though, so I try to push such things out of my mind for now. On my head to see if Hanako's where she was when I drifted off to sleep. All that's there now is an empty space on the bed and the room beyond. Slowly she sit up and rub my eyes before pinching the bridge of my nose and looking around the room. Only person here is me. I'm still bereft of my clothes, and after a quick scan of the floor of them, I notice that they're neatly folded away in a corner. Try as I might, I can't see Hanako's anywhere. Oil pack for the commons bin removed too. Presumably, put into the bin. Great yawn. I get myself out of bed and quickly look for some underwear. I grimace a little at the prospect of putting my boxes back on after yesterday's efforts at a job on them, but I don't have much choice. Taking advantage of the fact that I have some time without anyone around, I get myself dressed for the coming school day in short order. And then, I'm alone. Without anything more to busy myself with, my mind becomes focused on the fact that I'm standing in another person's bedroom after we spent the night together, but there's not a single sign of her around. My gut proves to be more helpful than my brain at working out this riddle. With a loud growl, it reminds me that she may well just be getting breakfast. Would have liked to wake up next to her, but maybe it's a good thing that I have a few moments alone. Hanako's room, as always, is quite bleak in appearance. There are a precious few decorations and practically no personal artifacts that aren't hidden away in cupboards and drawers. She's lived here for 3 years, but the room looks as if it's barely been occupied for a single day. I should overthink this. She might just like living this way, as some do. Having the ability to push such low stock in physical possessions does have its advantages, but even so, it feels a little disconcerting given her past. She said she viewed herself as having had a life on hold while at the orphanage. She certainly lives as if she still does, but after what happened last night, it's pretty hard to imagine that she still thinks that way. Sound of the door handle cracks through my thoughts, and I turn to face it. Sure enough, Hanako comes through and shuts the door behind me. She has what seems to be 2 microwave instant meals in her hands, so this is a little difficult. Good morning, Hanako.
Morning.
She gives a little bow before making her way to her desk, sitting down both plates. I can see now that they seem to be small and sauté dishes, the contents steaming, with a fork stuck inside the rice of each. I give thanks to her for bringing them in, and we each take one and get down to eating. She sits on her desk chair while I sit on the side of her bed. I don't like talking while eating, so the silence between us isn't annoying in and of itself. It's the fact that it only exists because we don't quite know what to say to each other that's a little off-putting. Hanako glances towards me every so often as she eats. I only notice her doing so because I'm doing just the same thing. We're eating together as if we were a couple. We even had sex last night. First for the both of us. Something feels wrong, though. Maybe that's why we can't even say a word to each other as we finish our plates and leave them in the sink. Maybe that's why we leave Hanako's room without holding hands or making small talk. Maybe that's why it feels as if we're further apart than we've ever been before. We entered the classroom together, neither of us so much as glancing at each other. Just after we do so, I realize that this may have been a mistake. Shizune lifts her eyebrow at the sight, her suspicions raised. We reach the center aisle between the classroom desks, and look to each other. I'm not quite sure what I should say. Does she want to address her as a girlfriend? I didn't think our relationship was... Oh. That's why this feels so strange. See ya.
Okay.
I awkwardly hold up a hand as we part and take our seats at our respective desks. Good fucking job, Hisao. You did it. You made the most awkward girl in existence even more awkward. Good job. Oh, I can't even look back to her out of embarrassment. I feel like the gulf between Hanako and me is because of me. Shizune begins to make her way towards me, but then Muto enters the room. Yeah, later. I'm thankful for his arrival being so well timed, drawing Shizune and her question away to wait for another time. Wouldn't be able to answer her anyway. I like Hanako, but I've never told her what my feelings for her are. Hanako never said she saw me as anything beyond a friend either. Yet despite that, we slept together. Yeah, and we're like 18, so good job. The bell, and again, why did you have the condom? Why? Why, Hisao? Just why did you have it? What is this? This is a light switch? That's a weird place for a light switch. The bell to signal the beginning of lunch rings out. Muto is taken a little off guard, his chemistry lecture being cut off mid-sentence. Much to his chagrin, I don't know why task manager randomly opened. For the entirety of the class, his rambling has passed through one ear and out of the other, as my mind mulls over the question of Hanako. I can't get her out of my mind, and by now I've managed to wind myself up about it. I realized that she never said yes to what we did. She didn't say no either, but would she have been able to? She's extremely submissive at the best of times, and no doubt took a gargantuan effort to show me her scarring. I decided to try and at least make conversation with her. That would be better than the monosyllabic communication that she's been, the most we've managed between each and other so far today. I have no idea what I just read. I walk to her desk, intending to chat, but she awkwardly blushes and looks down even before I come up to her. I take a breath to speak, but find myself lost for words. What in the world should I say to her? Hearing approaching footsteps, I turn to see Shizune and Misha already making their way towards us, no doubt with the intent to start asking troublesome things. A couple of other classmates are looking at us and gossiping between themselves as they throw sideways glances. They must have also noticed Hanako and me coming in together earlier. I open my mouth to reassure Hanako, but she preempts me.
I gotta go do something.
She gets out of her chair and dashes for the door. A couple of the books and pens that are on her desk are sent falling to the floor in a rush. Not many people seem to care about this event. A few look around to see what all the fuss is about, or go back to what they were doing previously soon after. I'm left despairingly, looking at the door that Hanako disappeared out of. The idea of running after her passes through my mind, but I'm fairly sure that Hanako can run faster than I can. And besides, what would I say to her once I caught up anyway? Eventually, I simply crouch down and begin picking up the items that fall into the ground from her desk. I feel low in every way, reduced to this as students pass by me, on their way out of the room. I feel the top of my shoulder. I looked up to Shizune and Misha looking at me. Curiosity about the situation written on their faces, mixed with a slightly apologetic look at the idea that they were partially responsible for what just happened.
Hey, Chan, if we can help at all.
I just shake my head. This isn't a matter for them. And from Shizune's expression and the tone of Misha's voice, I think they know the same thing. Shizune acknowledges my response and gives a solemn bow before making her way out of the room. Misha soon follows her out, obedient following her role as Shizune's shadow. I pick myself up, books and pens in hand, and place them inside Hanako's desk, because clearly these have things you could... whatever. With the classroom now empty, I end up just leaning against her desk and thinking to myself in silence. Isn't Muto still in here? It feels like there's a complete emotional disconnect between Hanako and me. Isn't it Hanako and I? Whatever, grammar. We haven't known each other for all that long. And despite wanting to start going out with her, I really don't know that much about how Hanako views things. I've been studying as hard as I can for exams, but I still don't feel like I have any real sense of direction behind it. I try to be a friend to Hanako, even if I couldn't tell her my feelings, and all we've done is drive each other apart. I couldn't even write a letter back to the one girl who ever loved me. That's getting ahead of things. Alright, asking someone out is not loving them, dude. Iwanako. What should I do? What can I do? I simply don't know the answer to either of those questions. I do know that nobody else can help me with them. Just going back to the way things were would be enough to make me happy. But I know that it can never happen. Something changed between us last night. Maybe it changed beforehand, and it just came to a head then. I know that there's a wall that Hanako has between me and her. I've been hitting that wall every time I've tried to interact with her on any level. But now, I'm beginning to think that I have my own wall between us just as much as she does. She practically had to drag my past out of me, and mine was much less traumatic than hers. I want to say it's because I haven't had long to adjust since my heart attack, but I know full well that it would just be an excuse. One time I can recall when it really felt like she was opening up to me of her own accord, when we were playing billiards in the city. I was the one who stopped her from going any further. I want to know Hanako better. I want to save our friendship, if not begin a real relationship with her. My mind begins to tick as I sit against her desk, thinking to myself in the empty classroom that we spent so much time together in. Where's Muto? He needs to help me. Or not. I have to talk to Hanako. I pace around in the park, feelings of anxiety rolling over me. Every so often I reach into my pocket and take out my phone, but each and every time I hesitate and end up slipping it back in. If this were any normal situation, I wouldn't be cutting classes. Unfortunately, it isn't, and so I find myself in the town below the school at 2 in the afternoon. Ever since I met Hanako, I'd been the one to initiate everything between us. When we started the conversations, went to her wherever she was and suggested what we should do. Not entirely. She did bring us into town, even though we were there too. She asked to hang out with us. But today, this once, I don't want to be the only one doing that. My hand dives into my pocket once more. This time I quickly navigate to the texting menu before I have a chance to change my mind again. Hanako, if you want to talk, I'll be at the park in town for a while. Finding a last measure of doubt, I thumb in my message to Hanako and press the button to send it. And now, wait. My part in this has been fulfilled. What needs to happen now is for Hanako to make the decision. It would be meaningless for me to drag her here. She needs to decide for herself whether she wants to meet me. The apple juice from the vending machine tastes awfully bitter as I swirl it down. My grip on the can has caused it to dent slightly in the middle. I shouldn't be this tense, but it's probably inevitable. Hanako was dear to me. What happened in the last couple of days has put a lot of pressure on both of us. The idea of losing all the progress we've made and coming closer to one another, and losing our friendship as a whole, is deeply unsettling. But even then, I still don't really know how close we are. Maybe we had sex, but before that, all I knew us to be was friends. Maybe we're more than that, but if so, I never realized it. Maybe that's why I feel so uneasy right now. I don't understand Hanako, despite all the time we spent together. Minutes are taking by, and I still have no idea whether she'll show up.
Hisao?
I pause for a moment, almost not believing that I'm hearing the voice I'm hearing. I drop the can and stand up with a start. I guess she skipped class too. Hanako. We look at each other for a few seconds, while Hanako becomes too embarrassed to maintain eye contact, and begins to nervously fiddle with a roughly cut lock of hair covering the side of her face. When I went to see Hanako in a room by myself after her breakdown, I had no idea what to say. That was fine then. All either of us wanted was each other's presence. Now, though, I feel like I need to talk to her directly. I want to break down this wall between us before it forces us apart for good. Hanako, what we did that night, how should I interpret that? Hanako stops playing with her hair and looks at me. Her head casts slightly downwards. She looks ashamed, which is probably a good mirror of how I would look now if I weren't so concerned.
I thought you might eventually go away if I was only someone you needed to protect. I thought if I let you do that, you might see me as someone more than that.
My first reaction is disbelief, but I did do it with her after all. I had plenty of opportunities where I could have stopped things, stepped back, and questioned what we were doing. In the end, though, I didn't. A horrible feeling rises in the pit of my stomach. She offered herself to me because of what she thought I wanted, and now it feels like I took advantage of her. She may have been willing, but only under false premises. I've never been good at hiding my emotions from physically showing, and now it's no different. Hanako looks down once more. A strange mixture of depression, regret, and sickness are into her face. Thick silence hangs in the air, save for the breeze blowing through the trees around us.
I knew you couldn't look at me like that.
Hanako's words are said a little more than a whisper, seemingly directed just as much as herself as to me. In what way? What do you mean?
All I ever was to you was a useless person. Just someone to protect. Someone like a child. I want to be more to you than that, but after so long, I got used to it.
Her tone of voice is unlike any I've heard before. She sounds disgusted. Not at me, but herself.
After I came out of my room, I saw that you had started drifting away. I felt I was going to lose you because you wanted somebody you could have that kind of relationship with. You were more quiet in school than before, and you were getting on so well with Yuko. I thought that I might lose you.
She thought I was bored of her because I wanted a romantic relationship? But we're friends, right? I wouldn't abandon you like that, even if what you're saying was true.
Friendship was something I thought I'd given up on. I stopped believing in others after what happened after the accident. Before the accident happened, I got on well with people and other children. I didn't have any friends, but I didn't mind, because I treasured the ones that I had. Afterwards, though, I was called names by the others, and teased a lot. It hurt really deeply. The teachers tried to help, but they couldn't do much, and even many of them recoiled just at the sight of me. Among those calling me names and teasing me were the ones that I thought were my closest friends. From then on, I believed that it didn't matter if nobody else acknowledged me. All my existence ever did was make people troubled after all. It was easier if I just didn't exist. But after meeting Lily, and then you, I tried, but I I couldn't make myself think that way again.
All that time, she didn't trust me. She thought, just like everyone else in her life, that she was worthless. Someone to throw away once I got bored of being with her. That hurts. That's the one kind of person I never, ever want to be seen as. Because I know better than most just how horrible it feels to be thrown away by those I thought liked me. Yeah, I know that feeling too, bud, but, you know. She's cracking from the memory she's bringing up. I feel useless, completely unable to console her. In a strange way, though, I'm almost thankful that she's allowing me to know this. The wall between us is going away, even if it hurts so badly to bring it down. Hanako, if you just told me...
Was I wrong?
Of course you... She wasn't. Hanako wasn't wrong. It's difficult to force myself to admit this, but I know trying to deny it is pointless. To me and to Lily, she was someone we tried to protect. But Lily told us to stop trying to do that. She told us, and we said we were going to not do that anymore. She had become to me what I'd become to my friends after my heart attack. A broken person. I liked her, possibly even loved her. But I never acted on that precisely because I thought she was so fragile. But then Lily told us that she wasn't fragile. That she was strong. I mean, I don't look at you that way now. I got worried about you after what happened to you in class, and I thought I should try to protect you. When you locked yourself in your room, though, I got afraid. I thought you were rejecting me, and it forced me to think a lot about different things.
I wasn't rejecting you.
She blurted out, with almost scared tone to her voice, taking me off guard. She quickly becomes embarrassed by her outburst before clenching her fist, working through what she wants to say in her mind.
I would never do that. Not to you. Even though I was scared, even though I tried to push you away, you still tried to get closer to me. I locked myself away because I was just a burden to you, to Lily, to everyone. Every birthday was the same. Everyone doing their best to pretend that I mattered. Everyone pretending everything was alright for that one day of the year. I didn't want to exist, but they wouldn't let me. Even after meeting Lily, everything was the same. I was as useless as I had always been, unable to do anything for her or for myself. I didn't want to be the same way to you.
Lily and I were completely wrong. From what she said, everything we did for her, it would have only made her feel worse. Even what little I thought I had right about her was a complete misjudgment. After you locked yourself in your room, I decided to try to work out my past as well, and to sort out my future. I didn't know how to deal with things I'd lost by coming to Yamaku, so I was trying to sort them out myself. I thought it would help us become better friends if I did that. Silence hangs in the air again. I try to keep looking at her, but I can't. I feel really low, and though I want to apologize, I don't know how I possibly could. I hear her take a deep breath and only look back to her after hearing her drop to the ground. The sound of her crying breaks my heart. I know I'm responsible for this, and I know that I can't do anything to help her. If Hanako feels ashamed, then I feel all the more so. I rush to her as tears continue to roll down her cheeks unabated, wrapping my arms around her. I don't care how I must look anymore. I just want to be close to her right now. Look at that hair. Look at that hair, just that tough. Won't go down.
I'm sorry, Hisao. I've messed up everything.
It's fine. Everything's fine. I'm the one that should be sorry. I was meddling around behind your back and I never told you anything. I feel my grip tightening on Hanako as my vision blurs. I can't be bothered trying to hold back now. I have to force my words out as a lump begins to stick in my throat. To tell you the truth, Hanako, I was scared. For the first time since my heart attack, I was really scared.
Hisao?
Also, nice sweater vest. Hisao really likes the sweater vest. I lost so much when I came to Yamaku. I was depending on you more than I ever thought I did. Even now, I still have that hole inside me. After losing my entire life, and everyone I'd known, the thought of losing you as well.
But I'm just a useless...
You're my friend, Hanako. You're... No, you're more than that. I love you, Hanako. I love you so much that the thought of losing you frightened me so much. Oh, this is bad. I'm really letting all this out. I can't bring myself to look at her face right now.
I'm sorry, Hisao. I can't help feeling a bit happy. For so long, that's what I've wanted to hear.
Unless the floodgates break, the sound of her crying permeates the air as her body jerks against mine. We hold each other tightly, connected more closely than ever in our shared grief and our shared happiness. I don't know how things are going to be like this, after this. Right now, though, I don't care. There's no other person in the world that either of us could possibly share these memories and emotions with. Nobody. After dropping the dirty can into a bin next to the bench, I take a seat beside Hanako. She puts away the handkerchief I gave her to clean herself up, which hasn't helped much. Then again, I doubt I'll look much more presentable. Even now, I feel emptied and a bit embarrassed after laying my emotions out in public like that. It's not a bad sensation, though. I think Hanako feels the same way, too. Have you calmed down a bit?
Yes, thank you.
For a while, we just sit and take our time before talking again to one another. We both need a little time to collect ourselves.
The weather is nice at this time of year.
Yeah, it is. I close my eyes for a moment, relishing the feeling of the sun's heat and the cool breeze against my face. The weather really is nice today. Really, really nice. You know, I don't really want to go back to classes right now, do you? She shakes her head as she finishes wiping her eyes off with her cuff. She shakes her head as she finishes wiping her eyes off with her cuff. The small smile she gives is nice. It's a reminder of how earnest it can be. Smiling for other people might be a completely normal, everyday thing. For Hanako, though, she smiles so rarely and so sincerely that each and every time she does it, I feel a sense of relief and happiness. Okay, not to be that guy, but Hanako does smile a lot, and it's a cute and adorable every time she does it, but we bring it up every time like, oh man, she never smiles, but she smiles all the time.
I'm sorry for everything.
It's okay. I think we both have a bit to be sorry for.
I know that. I'm too shy. I know you don't want me to be. I don't think I can.
You can change, Hanako. I know that because even the time I've known you, you've already changed, to be honest. Just being able to sit here and talk to you like this means you've changed a lot since we first met.
But I can't be like that for anyone else. I don't have any plans for after school ends, either.
Hanako's confidence begins to slide down again. But I think that now I can finally talk to her as an equal. I can do that because I know we're the same in just so many ways. Just give yourself time. I think you'll be able to achieve whatever you want. Now I'm sure you'll be able to do it. And I can see you've been trying. I have faith in you. And you can depend on me if you feel like you need someone to support you, you know.
But I can't ask that of you.
You can, because that's exactly what I'm asking of you. I'm going through the same thing, you know. It's called love. Hanako smiles before I get off the bench and dust myself off. She does the same in short measure. I'm kinda hungry. Want to grab something to eat? She nods vigorously. The way she's smiling, the way she's acting, even just the general air she gives off. I feel as if this is the first time I've seen her genuinely happy. Did you forget the time that she got those 2 presents? Because she was definitely happy then. Did you forget the time we played billiards? Because she was definitely happy then. Goddamn, Hisao. We both make our way onto the street, walking beside each other.
Hisao?
Yeah?
I think I don't really understand you.
I don't think I understand you either. I think that's fine, though. There's not a single hint of despair in our voices. Not understanding each other is only natural. The walls we set up between ourselves couldn't possibly be broken down in a single day. But that's fine, as long as we take it day by day and try to understand one another. I think everything will be okay. As we walk down the street, though, Hanako's eyes flick to my face and back to the street repeatedly. Is something on your mind? You look restless. She slows before stopping completely. When I turn to meet her, she takes a long, deep breath, looking at my face intently. This expression, I saw it once before on her face. Just once when I accidentally surprised her in her room.
I think I have something I need to give you.
What is it? You don't need to be evasive about it.
I wanted to give you this for a long, long time, but now that I need to, it's too embarrassing.
Don't worry, I'll accept it, whatever it is. She gives a sweet, bashful smile, before taking my shoulder in her hand.
Then, please accept my first gift to you, Hisao.
Hanako? Look at that asshole over there. Why would I skip this? Well, that is Katawa Shoujo. At least this route. We have a second one to do. Not a bad one. I don't want to do the bad end, even though I saved all those choices. Oh, hey, look, there's Hanako. At least her, I think her initial concept art. And then her phases. I guess that was her, everyday outfit afterwards. Whoa, what is that? What was that? I don't know. Then there's a sketch of her on her, she's lying on her bed, I guess. Yep. But that was Katawa Shoujo. Thanks to all these people. That's a lot of people. What a emotional ride. And that was the good end. But now, we're not doing the bad end. We have a different route to do now. Because we already started it. It was an accident, but it was the first one we started. So I feel as if we have to finish that at least. We haven't even gotten to Act 2 on that one. But we finished this whole act. This whole thing. We have the jukebox, the gallery, the library, the cinema, or you can return. Let's look at the gallery. Yep, look at that. And then look at all of this. And there's a thing here. There's one here that we're not gonna get. And we never will get. And then here's all Lily. But look at that asshole. She's happy. She's happy, she's happy. He's like, what the fuck is going on over there? Just you do you, buddy. And then we'll do us. Alright? You fucking... yeah. But for now, everybody, this is technically the end of this series, because they're technically the same series, but we'll be back. So, thank you guys so much for watching Katawa Shoujo, if you watched all of this. And if you watched that one scene, well, good for you. I hope you feel as awkward as I do. But until next time, we have another thing to get to. Where is it? It's mind your step, proper exercise. Proper exercise. We'll be back. Goodbye.